What a year. I mean, truly, that is why you click this video, right? Because you kind of want to dive into how 2025 went with me and reminisce, truly just sink in what 2025 had to offer, even if it went horrible for some of us. Am I right? First and foremost, I will say that I'm not trying to paint 2025 to be as picture perfect, and I'm being real honest here. That is the whole goal of this video, after all. Honesty, rawness, that realness, that's what we came here to see. And honestly, I wanted to make this video so that I could take my own advice, but also hope that my advice could, work for some younger girls out there, for anyone really, because this advice has no gender to it. Um, Everything that I've learned is something that others probably would agree on as well. It doesn't matter the age, we can all learn from each other. So let me be your example that you can learn from. And I hope, Kaylin, watching this, you take your advice, please, because of all people, you need it. We all in the same boat. I am not this picture perfect person who has everything figured out, and I never had it figured out. To this day, I don't. I am 20, going on 21, and I have a lot to learn. I am still young. I'm growing. I'm making mistakes, but guess what? I'm learning from those mistakes, and you are too. And that leads me to my first point, being that nothing's easy. Growth is not glamorous. It is a long journey that all of us go on, and that's the special thing about growth, is that you meet so many people along the way. Those relationships you've made with those people, the journey that you've went on, the places that you've discovered, the memories that were made. And little do you know, those little events are for a reason, even if they seem like they are so unimportant. You think those events are unimportant until you realize later, or you may not ever realize later that they were important, but it's definitely going to show throughout you. And one of my biggest lessons in 2025 that I need to take for myself is that nothing is easy, and for everything that you do, you have to put great effort into it. I'm not saying be picture perfect, but just try. Effort doesn't guarantee outcomes, but it's required. Next on my list, I would say that I learned is that consistency is the only thing that gets you closer to your goals. And that is my word of the year. Little do you know, consistency is big and bold on my 2026 vision board. I'm taking it a lot more seriously this year because I definitely underestimated my ability to be consistent last year, or overestimated. Anyways, I dug myself into a hole to where I thought I could handle all of these things, knowing I'm not Incredible Hulk. I am not God. I'm not our Lord and Savior himself. I cannot, I'm only human. I'm only a girl. It's only so much that I can take on at once. So I really just need to take it, digest it, and, take my time with it. And I suggest that y'all do the same thing, because don't stress yourself to the point where you literally are in a slum for so long, because I've been there. 2025 has showed me that life seems like, you might be complacent or stuck, but in reality, new opportunities are in the making. Feeling stuck doesn't mean like nothing is happening. Sometimes growth is invisible until it isn't. Just let that sink in. I feel like I need to hear that. When I'm editing this, future Kaylin, I'm gonna be like, wow, that just hits home for me. With those opportunities, those new opportunities, it's just the universe's way of telling you, of reaffirming you. I'm a big believer in affirmations and all of that. I'm very spiritual. But yeah, it's the universe's way of telling you that you'll be okay, because you will be okay. Just because you're stuck, it doesn't mean that you're going to be stuck forever. It's just your time to be stuck. We all have our time to be stuck. Networking is so crucial, especially in the film industry. Whoever is watching, please, please listen to me when I say networking is one of the most important factors to being into the film industry. And I'm not even in the film industry yet, girl. I am still in college and I'm still learning my last year, but I really have to buckle down. I really do. I have to get it together because I am graduating this year and I refuse to just be complacent. Thinking about it has me stressed. I'm not gonna lie. Stressed, hot, a little bit. Are y'all hot? I have enough on my plate as is. The semester just begun. Don't even. But yes, networking is so important because it takes a village, y'all. It takes a village to make some of your favorite films out there. It takes a village to make some of your favorite films, your favorite clothing brands, your favorite whatever, bro. It takes a village. It's much more likely that good quality or better quality comes from a village rather than one person alone. I'm not saying one person is incapable of really doing a lot. You know what I'm saying? Things can get done more efficient, feel more like collaborative and special when it's other people that you're working with it together on. Hopefully that makes sense a little bit and I'm not speaking in tongues. But yes, networking is crucial and that is something that I had to learn in 2025. Really before then too, but it really stuck with me in 2025. I started building my connections on LinkedIn. I was like, I really have to lock in on this because this is what I want to do as a career choice. This isn't just a hobby. It's something that I take pride in. I take pride in my craft, my work, my writing. And, I love the idea to be able to collaborate with others and to make my dreams come true, as cliche as that sounds. I believe it takes a village, you guys, and it does, trust me. And it's well worth it in the end. So build up that contact list, girl. If you're in the entertainment industry, period, you know what I'm talking about because you don't build alone. And I kind of touched on this a little bit in the beginning, I think, when I said that you make relationships for a certain period of your life and you've either helped someone or they've helped you in a way. That kind of brings me to my next point. People come and go throughout your life as they've done for me in 2025. No beef, by the way, at all. I have no beef, zero beef, zero. I am not saying that relationships have ended over something negative. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that people grow and experience new heights or different paths that don't align with yours. And that's life. Everybody has their seasons. You have your own season. In someone's life. You just don't know it yet, girl. I've also learned that you shouldn't hold on to the hope that somebody will be your friend forever because that is almost never the case. I have a couple of good friendships that lasted for years, still going. And those were since middle school. And, I got to high school and ever since I just haven't kept the same bonds that I've had since middle school. And I'm the type of person to really cherish my friendships. I'm the friend that really just values a friendship with all my heart. I really do. I love my friends like their family. I think when it's mutual, that's when the relationship lasts longer. But please just don't put all your eggs in one basket with one person or a person in general that's your friend, especially if it's a newer friendship. Don't be surprised. Listen, I'm being real right now, but don't be surprised when y'all aren't friends anymore or don't hang out as much. And sometimes, it feels like a breakup. I'm like, dang, like I really love this person. Like, this was my girl, my homegirl, my homeboy, whoever. This was somebody I really clicked with. And I really thought we were going to be friends for way longer. But life has a funny way of surprising you and showing you that you're wrong. Going into friendships, though, and just people in general, I think pouring into somebody is so important, especially if they're pouring into you. They're pouring their energy, their time, their love into you. And just even their attention, that means so much. Just having someone's attention and to be listened to be heard and understood, that means so much, at least for me. Your girl needs to go back to therapy. I'm just being a little vulnerable here. That's what I was learned to in 2025. Wow, like I need to go back to therapy. But yes, please just pour into your loved ones. Small gestures go a long way. Trust me, bro. I will cry off the littlest things because the little things mean so much, like you just don't know. And if you're a person who is like doubting your gift giving or your gestures, a real friend, a real friend is gonna appreciate it no matter what. Trust me, they'll love it. Small gestures go a long way. Mutual effort, that kind of ties into the whole pouring into someone else's cup and whatnot. Mutual effort matters 110%. And also just being genuine, because that's what people look for in a friend, that genuineness. I'm not trying to like preach to the choir or like tell you what to do with your life. I never felt like I had to change my genuineness though, if I'm being quite real. I feel like I've done a pretty good job at being a genuine person throughout this year. Even to strangers, even to people who probably don't deserve it, if I'm being real. And I'm sure we've all have, us who are empaths, us who are, used to be people pleasers and, are growing out of that. Or maybe you're still a person pleaser, whatever, just being genuine naturally, you know, it has its struggles. It has the cons and the pros, but you just have to navigate where you want your genuineness to go. Is this the right crowd of people that you know, should be pouring yourself into, or is this the right crowd? Or is there no crowd at all and it's just a singular person or couple people? Just watch who you give your all to, watch who you pour your entire self into, because if the other person isn't doing it back, then I mean, that just seems like your energy is being sucked out of you. And it's really important to have that mutual connection. You know what I mean? The mutual effort to a friendship. A friendship is like a relationship, girl, just a lot less romantic. Genuineness is something that I remember forever personally. And I don't take it for granted. It's rare to come by that person that you feel like you have a deeper bond and connection with. Like those are rare, but genuine. Celebrate small moments. Oh my gosh. Please, please celebrate small moments, small achievements, small anything. Small moments matter just as much as the big ones. And just celebrating these small moments feels so motivational, and it's like a boost of serotonin. Whether you're progressing in learning Spanish or another language and you've hit a milestone, celebrate that, John, girl, boy. Progress doesn't have to be loud either. Celebrating things so small like journaling every day for a week or getting an A on a test that you've studied so hard for gives your brain those affirmations like you can do this, and you keep going even harder. I'm sure it's scientifically proven. Doing this makes you feel like you can take on anything. And let me ask you a question. Why wouldn't you want to feel like you could take on anything, right? And don't worry if you can't go all out on celebratory moments. You can't spin a band. Trust me, we've all been there. You know, some of us just, we can't go all out, and that's perfectly fine. Baking yourself your favorite cake, your favorite cupcakes, making your favorite meal and watching your favorite show. That's celebratory right there. Instead of, you know, working yourself to death all night, typing on a computer, doing work. Take a break from that work and just celebrate yourself, girl, because you deserve it. Remind yourself that you deserve it because you do. When you hit these small milestones, they're really big milestones. A milestone is a milestone. It's okay to take things little by little so that you're not burnt out. And actually, way more recommended. I've been burnt out day after day, night after night throughout 2025. I've overthought, I've overthunked not all 2025, but enough in 2025 to know that you need to take it slow. You need to pump the brakes a little bit. Taking all of these tasks on at once is just a recipe for disaster, y'all. Take things little by little, small increments, day by day. Don't just jump into something. You know what I mean? If you have a goal of you want to eventually become vegan, don't just go cold turkey. If you want to eventually stop smoking or stop vaping, you take it day by day. You do it a little less each day until you're completely done doing it. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, but that's just the realistic way to do that, I would think. Because going slow can be an act of care. So girl, slowly get into that routine. Slowly work up going cold turkey with no bad habits. I meant with bad habits or foods that are bad for you. And let me be a reminder that it doesn't make you any less of a person if you can't hit these goals at a certain deadline. We're just girls. We're just humans, actually. So give yourself that leeway, you know. Don't be so hard on yourself. And that's the advice I would give myself after going through 2025, honestly. I hope 2026 is a way better year for all of us. I know 2025 was a rocky road, you know, and a lot of those happen. It is what it is. We keep going. In 2025, I wasn't perfect. In 2024, I wasn't perfect. In 2023, I wasn't perfect. And I'm still not perfect. And I will never be perfect. And I'm fine with that. I'm so okay with the idea that I will not be perfect. Because that's just what makes Kaylin Kaylin. That's just what makes me who I am. It's just having these flaws. And I truly, truly encourage you to embrace your flaws, but also have room for improvement. Be able to take constructive, I don't know why I can't talk. Be able to take constructive criticism. And that is a tidbit for me. But anybody who out there needs to hear that as well. Let it be your sign. Thank you, lovelies, for joining me today. I had a lovely time talking to you and chatting. And if you haven't seen my other video that I just uploaded, go check it out. You know what I'm saying? I believe it was my final turned into a short film or something like that, which was very fun to record and do. And also before that video, I uploaded a 2025 documentary, which, is kind of in lieu with this video. If you are interested, and make sure to hit the subscribe button if you feel like it. And I will see you all the next video. Bye.